It's the Aztec Coaches Show.
Throw back to the near side. Touchdown, Aztecs!
The Aztec Coaches Show is brought to you by Quality First Real Estate. For residential real estate needs, it's Quality First at QualityFirstRealEstate.com. Proud sponsor of Aztec Athletics. Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill, San Diego's most authentic Irish pub and grill, and proud host of the Aztec Coaches Show. And by Quality First Commercial Real Estate. For commercial real estate needs, it's Quality First at QualityFirstCommercial.com. Proud sponsor of Aztec Athletics. Now, live from Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill, it's the Aztec Coaches Show. Here's your host, Chris Ello.
And welcome everybody to the 2011 San Diego State Aztec Football Coaches Show. Let's hear it out here at Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill in Grossmont Center, the official home for the Aztec Coaches Show with Mr. Rocky Long. And let me be the first to introduce the brand new head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs to everybody. Rocky Long, say hello to San Diego.
Hello.
Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill here in Grossmont Center, also in Rancho, San Diego. Award-winning food, great draft and bottled beer selections. Fantastic happy hour specials, too. You can click Hooley's.com for directions and much, much more. And of course, Hooley's is the official host location of our Aztec Coaches Show. We'll be here at Grossmont Center with the coach every Wednesday throughout the 2011 season. We also want to thank our friends at Quality First Real Estate, San Diego's top real estate company. We can help you buy, sell, and manage San Diego real estate. When it comes to real estate, it's always Quality First, quick QualityFirstRealEstate.com. Hey, guys, thanks for being here tonight. All right, Coach, how are you? Are you ready to roll?
I'm all right. You did that really well, by the way.
How was that? Okay,
yeah,
not too bad. I don't have to do a second rep on that one?
No. I thought you did fine the first time around.
I'm good on that one. Thank you. How's the team look? How are you doing? It's been it certainly hasn't been a tumultuous offseason. I think it's been a rather smooth transition from the Brady Hoke era right into the Rocky Long era. Have you seen it the same way?
I think it's been pretty smooth because Brady and I have the same philosophy on how to run a football team. We have a little bit different personalities, but we believe in the same things as far as football goes. I thought since several of our coaches knew the players, it was easy on the players, and they just moved from one season into the next season. Now, we've worked really hard in this offseason and worked really hard in camp, but I could tell today they're really tired of practicing. And coaches were probably really tired of being out there with them, too. So it's time to play a game.
Well, it is time to play a game, and that's all coming up Saturday night at 7 o'clock. You guys will kick off the season against Cal Poly at Qualcomm Stadium. And I know in reading some of your comments earlier this week in the newspaper, you don't really know as much about Cal Poly as you would like to, but that's kind of always the case, I guess, for a season-opening game, right?
Well, if you're playing someone that has been at a place for a long time and has been fairly successful, they tend to do the same things the next year, so you can actually prepare a game plan. Now, we know what they're going to do on defense because they haven't changed any coaches on defense. They haven't even mentioned in the newspaper, radio, or in the internet that they've changed anything on defense. So we know how they're going to line up on defense. We know what coverages they're going to play and all those sort of things. The real concern is on offense. Last year they were completely a triple option team, a lot like Navy was in the bowl game. And then this spring, they kept running the triple option, but they've put in the spread option and spread offense that Oregon made famous last year. In fact, their coaching staff spent almost 2 weeks with Oregon before their spring practice started. Now, we can't go watch them or we can't scout them. So all you do is get on the internet and hope somebody puts something on YouTube so you can watch it, or you listen to what their coaches say. And you listen to when their players are interviewed, you listen to what their players say. And it sounds, if you listen and try to dissect what they're saying, it sounds like they're going to try to do both. And they're going to do it with no huddle. They're going to go as fast as they can. And by their personnel, there's no way to tell if they're going to be in the wishbone one play and the spread offense the next play. And they're all talking about how fast they're going and how they're able to move back and forth between the two offenses, which has, for us in practice, made us only practice half the time against two completely different offenses because you can't really get a game plan on defense.
Sounds to me, though, Coach, if they're going to go really fast on offense, that just means you'll get them off the field quicker and you'll get the ball back quicker for your offense, right?
That's the positive way to look at things, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about the San Diego State team for 2011, I mean, it starts with your offense. Let's start with that, and Ryan Lindley and Ronnie Hillman coming back, and how both guys look during preseason camp. And I know you're thrilled to have Ryan Lindley back for his senior season, and Ronnie Hillman actually put on a little strength weight, as it were, and he'll be coming at guys at about 190 pounds this year rather than 175 a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, those two guys are great players. Ryan Lindley has matured dramatically in the 3 years I've been here. He's bigger, stronger. He's still got a great arm. He's got fantastic touch, and I think the biggest improvement he's made is in the leadership role. I mean, he's taken charge of this team from the offseason until where we are now. There's a lot of times at their voluntary workouts. Well, he's made sure everybody was at the voluntary workout, and he basically was in charge of those workouts. He's taken the leadership role in camp. Not just being a good player, him being the leader and the quarterback, that really helps things. It makes things go smooth. Ronnie's a really talented young player. We're hoping that people can't stack the box or put enough guys close to the line of scrimmage to make it hard on us to run the ball, because everybody knows how explosive he is and how much fun he is to watch. But if I was the opposing team, I would make sure that they found out if Lindley could throw it to the wide receivers before I let Ronnie Hillman have a great day.
Well, we've certainly tried, and we'll talk a little bit more about your wide receiver core, but one thing we know, you have an amazing group of tight ends, and I think maybe the plan of new offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig is to find different ways to get the ball to your tight ends, get a lot of those tight ends on the field, create some matchup problems. Also probably get Ronnie Hillman involved in the pass game. He only caught, I think, 9 a year ago. You'd probably like to get him the ball in space a little bit more this year.
Yeah, you've got it right. We do have fine tight ends, and a bunch of them. So you're going to see 2 most of the time. You might see 3. You might even see 4 tight ends out there. But a couple of them are really good blockers, so they'll be the ones close to the line of scrimmage. And a couple of them are great receivers. And so we can split them and put them in the slot. We can split them out at wide receiver. Now, they are not the deep threat that we had last year at wide receiver. But what they cause is matchup problems, big-time matchup problems. If you put a linebacker out there on them that is probably as big and strong as they are, those guys can usually outrun the linebacker. And you can put a DB out there, and the DB's going to stay with the tight end, but then we're going to throw the ball, and the DB's not going to be able to get around those guys or high enough to knock the ball loose. And Ryan's pretty accurate with the football. So they cause matchup problems. The difference is it's going to be more of a controlled passing game than it is the deep bombs that we threw. A bunch of them were very successful last year throwing the deep ball.
And that's what you're going to want to get to as the season goes along. You got 4 of your 5 members of the offensive line back. Alec Johnson moves over from guard to center. How's that transition gone so far? And Emilio Rivera is the new guy, the newcomer on your offensive line, but it was a pretty good offensive line for you last year.
Yeah, and it will be this year too. Emilio started as a true freshman. I don't know how long ago that was. It seems like Emilio I mean, he looks old, and it looks like he's been here 100 years, but he started as a true freshman. He was a backup in several spots last year. Alec Johnson started at guard. Now he's the starting center. The group of them, they've played real well in spring practice. They've been really good in fall camp. And, I'm a believer that the line of scrimmage has to be at least equal. You can't get dominated at the line of scrimmage for any of the skill guys to have a chance. So if you're good enough on the offensive line, now the quarterback and tight ends and the running back, they have a chance. If you're not good enough in the offensive line, it doesn't matter how good Ronnie Hillman is unless he gets a chance to get started.
Well, we know that there's a new offensive coordinator in Andy Ludwig, but there's not a new defensive coordinator. He's sitting right next to me here, Rocky Long, also the defensive coordinator of San Diego State. The 3-3-5 is back for another year, and I was talking with Miles Burris actually today about that, and Miles said going into his senior season, he and the veteran guys on defense especially, more and more comfortable running that 3-3-5, and you had said when you got here it's going to take a couple of years. So I'm thinking you're expecting that you guys run that defense even better this year than you have in the past.
Yeah, I think we'll be better. I think we've got really the most experience is at linebacker. And we've got good depth at linebacker too. So those guys are integral to how this defense works. And actually we're going to be better in the secondary than we were last year. We played a whole bunch of redshirt freshmen last year, and now they're redshirt sophomores, and because of their experience, they'll be just better. The biggest concern on defense is we're really young in the defensive line, and now I'm going to get back to you have to at least hold your own at the line of scrimmage for any of those other guys to matter. So if we don't hold our own in the defensive line, you won't know how good that secondary and those linebackers are, because they're really good. The secondary's good. The linebackers are really good. But the defensive line has to hold its own before you'll notice Miles Burris and those guys. And that's the biggest concern. We're playing 2 true freshmen. One of the starters is a sophomore that didn't redshirt, so he's a second-year guy. We have 2 seniors starting, and everybody else is a redshirt freshman or a true freshman. And the closer you get to the line of scrimmage, the more of a man you have to be, so they got to mature really fast.
Well, there he is, the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Rocky Long. A little overview of the upcoming 2011 San Diego State football season. We've got a lot more to cover with the coach here. We'll be here for the next hour. If you are listening to the program, first of all, we invite you to come down and join us at Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill in Grossmont Center. We'll be here until 8 o'clock. You can stop by for the great food and drink specials, or you can at least join the program by phone. The phone numbers to call in if you have a question for Coach Rocky Long. Here in San Diego, the phone number is 858-569-TALK. That's 569-TALK. And if you are listening to the program on the internet wave, Coach, and everybody who's watching the show on the internet all over the world, you can actually call and talk to Coach Rocky Long. The phone number is 1-800-600-KOGO. We're also going to take some questions from you folks here in our live audience at Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill. So get your thinking caps on. We'll pass around the microphone in a little while. First up, though, a quick timeout. Then back with more. Coach Rocky Long, the San Diego State Aztec Football Coaches Show, kicking off for 2011 right here on the home of the Aztecs AM 600 KOGO. And we welcome everybody back to the Aztec Football Coaches Show, live from Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill right here in Grossmont Center. Everybody, let's have a round of applause. Where's Craig for hosting us here? Craig, where are you over there? Craig, take a bow over there. The owner, the man who runs Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill. We appreciate you having us back for another season of Aztec football, and we'll be here every single Wednesday night. Also, if you're interested in buying, selling, or leasing a commercial property, well, hey, Quality First Commercial is a full-service commercial real estate firm. Visit our website, qualityfirstcommercial.com. QFC is here for all of your commercial real estate needs. Also, of course, the Aztecs last year. I don't know if you're aware of this, Coach. You went 9-4 and you won a bowl game. Do you remember back that far?
I do remember. It was a lot of fun. But
it doesn't seem like it was all that long ago that you teed it up in the Poinsettia Bowl and beat Navy 35-14. Anybody at that Poinsettia Bowl last year, the game against Navy? I know that in the coaching profession, Rocky, it's all about the next game and the game coming up, but I think I know these fans and those that are listening want to congratulate you, Coach Hoke, and the staff and the team on an amazing season a year ago. 9-4, the likes of which hadn't been seen at San Diego State since 1977. We had waited a long time to have a great season like that, and you guys really finished it off in style in the Poinsettia Bowl, so congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun, and I thought the team got better as the season went along. I thought we were a lot better at the end of the year than we were when it started. Hopefully that momentum will carry us through a few games this year, too.
Well, we want to remind everybody that it is now time to rock the queue once again. The home schedule, which gets underway on Saturday night against Cal Poly at 7 o'clock, is one of the best ever. TCU coming in here ranked 14th in the nation right now. Boise State coming in here ranked 5th in the nation right now. Also, longtime rival Fresno State will be coming to the queue this year. Season tickets for 7 home games, listen to this, start at just $66. So if you don't have your season tickets by now, you're crazy, man. You're not going to find a better value than that anywhere in town. If you're listening, you can call us. Call San Diego State, 619-283-SDSU, and get your season tickets. Like I said, they start at just $66 for 7 home football games. That is a phenomenal value. You'll see some great, exciting football. We also want to remind you, Aztec fans, especially many of you that are here tonight at Hooley's, the Aztec Warrior Walk, which we got a tradition restarted last year, gets underway again this year. And you can welcome the players and help them as they make their way into Qualcomm Stadium. This Saturday's first Warrior Walk of 2011 will get underway at 5 o'clock. The fans can line up in sections E3 and F3 in the stadium parking lot. Get there around 3 o'clock, start tailgating, have yourself a great day, enjoy the afternoon. But at 5 o'clock, everybody hustle over to E3 and F3, make a big long line, a big tunnel, and the players walk through the Warrior Walk. And anybody who was part of that last year before the Poinsettia Bowl game knows that it is really something special to be a part of. So you Aztec fans, don't forget the Warrior Walk at 5 o'clock gets underway on Saturday. All right, then they kick the game off at 7 o'clock, and then, Coach, it's time to go to work. And, well, let's talk about a couple of things. We talked about that you have the reasons to be very excited about this football team, and Ryan Lindley and Hillman and your offensive line and your linebackers and your secondary and your special teams. That's a whole lot to be excited about, but I know there's a couple of areas of concern. What did happen at the wide receiver position during this training camp this offseason? I know you are still looking for a couple of guys to step up big there. Well,
I mean, it's going to be somebody new. We only have one receiver out there that's even caught a pass in a college football game, and he caught 4 last year. We lost 2 great wide receivers to the NFL. It looks like, or we've been told it looks like both of them are going to make the team, so that shows you how good they were. We're excited about them making a pro football team too, but that just shows how good they were. Yeah. We had some really good young players in the program that one of them with experience that got injured in the offseason, and they won't be playing this year. So we're counting on some guys that have never done it before. We moved one of our cornerbacks over to wide receiver that has great speed, played wide receiver in high school, can run by you, has gotten deep a lot in practice, hasn't caught the ball consistently enough for us. He had a great day last Sunday, so I hope that means he's going to have a great day this Saturday night. But that's kind of a work in progress. They need to play a game, and if they have success, we'll be off and running. If they struggle, we're going to have to wait till the second game, and hopefully they'll bust out and have a great success, and then we're off and running. All young players, when you put them in a game, there's a lack of confidence. No matter how they strut or how they act or how they beat their chest, they're not confident when they go into that game. And if something good happens to them, all of a sudden the confidence rises and they play good from then on out.
Well, hopefully it'll happen for everybody on Saturday at the 7 o'clock kickoff, the Aztecs and Cal Poly. We have to take a break. We're at the bottom of the hour. It is the Aztec Football Coaches Show from Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill right here in Grossmont Center. You fans out there got some questions? Think some questions. We're going to pass the handheld microphone around in the next and get some questions for the coach. If you're listening, you can call in and ask Coach Rocky Long whatever you'd like, 858-569-TALK, or toll-free anywhere you are listening to the program on the internet, anywhere around the country, or even in Germany, I understand they're listening tonight, Coach. 800-600-KOGO is the phone number to call in. We'll take some questions for Coach Rocky Long when we come back as the Aztec Coaches Show continues right here, folks, on AM 600 KOGO. All right, let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into the second half. It is the season opener of the Aztec Football Coaches Show. Chris Ello, along with the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Mr. Rocky Long, Aztecs and Cal Poly. Season opener this Saturday night at 7 o'clock at Qualcomm Stadium. We also want to remind you that Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill is your official sponsor for the Aztec Coaches Show with Rocky Long. Hooley's home to the famous corned beef tacos and other award-winning menu items. I know when you coached at New Mexico, you had some great southwestern food down there, but I bet you never ran into any good corned beef tacos down there.
No, in fact, in the spring we were out here and I tried one.
Did you have a couple?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, but they were awful good.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Craig does them up right, man. Those corned beef tacos are spectacular. All right, Polly, you ready with some questions here for our coach, Rocky Long? We're going to take the handheld microphone through the crowd here at Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill. And first up is this young man who looks like he might be able to play wide receiver for you. in about 6 or 7 years, Coach. Here we go.
I just met him a little while ago. He's a good fan.
He's ready to roll.
I'm glad he's on the microphone. He's a friendly guy, you know.
He looks like a friendly guy.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of question he comes up with. How are you, buddy?
What do you think about Zuma?
What do you think about Zuma, the Aztec mascot? You figured that was the first question you were going to get this season right there.
That's a good question for me because I know there's some controversy about it. And since I don't know the particulars of the argument, it's really easy for me to say I have no idea.
There you go. There you go. Is that all you really needed to know? Is what the coach thought about Zuma? Okay. Well, we appreciate that. All right, Polly, we got anybody else with any other mascot? If this guy steps up and asks you what do you think about Monty Montezuma, then this is gonna really be something. Yes, sir.
No, there won't be any of that.
Go ahead.
Coach Long, a couple years ago you spoke in front of a bunch of us, and they asked if you thought we had a team that could compete with teams like UCLA or other BCS teams, and your answer was no. Has your opinion changed about that? Do you feel we are a much more improved team that can compete with those type of teams?
Yeah, that's when I first got here, and that was after the first spring practice, and I thought that that our talent level. I coached at UCLA, and I didn't think our talent level was as good as what they have. Our talent level might not be at UCLA's level yet, but it's a heck of a lot closer than it was 2 years ago. Now, in fact, I'm so nervous about Cal Poly. I'd much rather be playing UCLA because UCLA might have a little more talent, but we're tougher. And it would be a whole lot of fun to play them. In fact, we keep trying to get a home and home with them, and they keep backing out on us. So if anybody's out there at UCLA has any influence, we'll play you any place, anytime.
Hey, there you go. Well, one thing I know on the schedule this year, there is a Pac-10 school that's coming in here in a couple of weeks. That's Washington State. And then there's another game in the non-conference schedule there after the Washington State game. I can't remember. Belitho, help me out there. What game is that? At where are we going? Oh, Michigan. Yeah, there's a game against Michigan on the schedule this year. I forgot a little bit about who they got coaching over there. That Brady Hoke guy, right? Yeah, we'll see. Well, that's coming down the road, and we'll save up our questions for that game that week, Coach. Let's get a couple more questions from the crowd here for Coach Rocky Long, the Aztec Coaches Show on Kogo tonight. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Coach, we all hope that Ryan Lindley plays every down this year, but I understand there was a really big battle for the backup quarterback spot. Can you talk a little bit about the couple of backups that could step in if an injury did happen?
Well, the two young men are Adam Dingwell and Jake Bernards. It's kind of a day-to-day thing. Adam Dingwell is the backup for the first game. They get about the same number of reps in practice, and whoever performs the best that week will be the backup quarterback. Jake Bernards, looks a lot like Ryan Lindley did 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. He's about 6'4", 6'5". He's about a skinny 195 or 200 pounds. Has a great arm. Is more of a drop back style. Adam Dingwell's probably 6'2" and maybe 210, 215, and he's more athletic. He's a guy that moves around in the pocket more. You could run the option with him if you wanted to. He gets out of trouble a little bit better. Both of them can throw the ball really well. Now, hopefully, the first time you'll see them is a year from now.
No question about that. Another question for the Coach Rocky Long here on the Aztec Coaches Show. Yes. Hey, Tom. How are you?
How you doing, Chris?
Good.
Coach, I hate to look ahead, but I know as a fan, most of us already are, and looking ahead to the 24th when we go down to Ann Arbor, Michigan. But I was curious to think who you felt has an advantage going into that game, yourself or the fact that Michigan, with having a former head coach here, Brady Hoke and Al Borges. How do you size that up?
Well, right now I haven't sized it up. It has come to my attention several times that the last two times Cal Poly was in San Diego, Cal Poly won. If you ask any of our players, the Michigan game's not even on their minds. And I'm not worried about the Michigan game anyway, because my biggest worry is that our players will be too excited about playing in the game. thank goodness that we have a pretty mature football team, and they're excited about playing Cal Poly. And Michigan week, I'll tell you what I think about who has the advantage.
That's what I figured he would say. But thanks for the question anyway, Tom. Let's move on. Another couple questions for the coach, Rocky Long. Yes, sir.
Coach, my question is, a lot of people are looking for Kellen Moore from Boise State and everything for the Heisman Trophy or best quarterback. Where do you think Ryan Lindley stacks up in them? Because he's obviously thrown for so many yards, and he obviously had Vincent Brown. But going forward, where do you think he stands in the standards of best quarterbacks in football?
Well, I think Ryan's in the top 5 coming out of seniors. I think Kellen Moore is a great player that is on an established winner, a team that's always has been in the top 10 in the last 4 or 5 years. He's been the starting quarterback for 3 years, and they've been in the top 10. So a guy like that gets more notoriety. Although he's a great player, it's also the team that he plays on is why he gets notoriety. If Ryan has the kind of year we expect Ryan to have, there's no doubt in my mind who's going to go first in the draft between those two. Ryan Lindley is much more suited to the NFL. So he'll go higher in the draft if he has a good year. Now, if we have a good year as a team, there's no telling between the two of them who's going to be the first-team all-conference quarterback.
Yeah, right now Kellen Moore is the preseason all-conference quarterback, but Coach, that's not the award you want to win. You want to win you want to win the end of the season conference quarterback of the year, and it should be a great battle between those two guys. Moore's got 38 career victories. Ryan Lindley, starting his 4th season at San Diego State, has a chance by the time this season is over to be the Aztecs' all-time leader in completions and yards and touchdowns and probably just about every other category you can think of. So it's been pretty exciting to watch Ryan Lindley for 3 years, and I know you're excited to see what he can do in his 4th year.
Well, you've seen the growth, and the growth has been unbelievable. Not mentally, skill-wise, and now he's even a whole lot bigger and stronger looking. I mean, he looks like if anybody's been around a lot of NFL quarterbacks, when you watch them on TV, and they're around all those giants, they don't look very big. And then all of a sudden you stand next to them, and they're gigantic guys themselves. Well, now I know this because we played against Ryan. When I first saw Ryan Lindley on a football field, he was about 6'4" tall, but he looked like he weighed about 160 pounds. Now, not only is he tall, he weighs about 235 to 240 pounds. When you stand next to him, he just looks like a pro quarterback.
Last question. We have time maybe for 1 or 2 more for the coach, Rocky Long, the Aztec Coaches Show. Yes, sir.
Coach, I just wanted to say I'm glad you didn't go to that school you won't mention, and you chose us instead, and I think I can speak for most Aztec fans. I'm looking forward to chanting Rocky on Saturday nights.
Are we gonna have to come up with their own version of Rocky Top here in San Diego? Mike May is going to start working on the lyrics to a new Rocky Top theme song for you. When we get it. Did you want to get one more in? Yes, sir. Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir. For Rocky Long, your question.
Hey, Rocky, can you address the kicking game for us a little bit tonight?
Special teams. That's it's another big factor, no question about it.
I appreciate someone asking because that's the one phase of the game that no one seems to talk about, and it's so important to field position and so important to a team success. We're pretty lucky. We have a kicker that has a great leg for kickoffs, can kick the deep field goal. He's a little inconsistent at times, but he's a weapon in himself that could really change field position on the kickoffs. He kicked a 60-something yard field goal today in practice, and he asked me if I'd let him kick one, and I said, only if you promise you're going to make it. Because if he misses it, they get the ball back where we kicked it from. So, I mean, if we get in a situation, he has plenty leg to take a shot to win a game from that distance, which is fun to have. People forget how important a deep snapper is, and we have one of the better deep snappers in the country. He's been the starting deep snapper for 3 years, going on 4. That's Aaron Brewer. You can't have a football team without a deep snapper, and most people don't realize that. Now, I think we have as good a punter as there is in the country in Brian Stahovich. He's a weapon in himself. Last year we were losing momentum against Wyoming. They had us backed up. We couldn't get a first down. They'd moved the ball well and scored a couple touchdowns to make the game close at the end. And it looked like we were in deep trouble. and Brian Stahovich kicked an 86-yard punt that ended up inside their 20, and all of a sudden the momentum shifted right back to us. And when you have a guy like that, you can't downgrade how important he is to the game. So there's only one bad thing about that. All three of them are seniors, but it's good for this year.
When you talk about special teams too, Coach, your return game, I was reading again this week where you might have Leon McFadden, your cornerback, all-conference cornerback, maybe returning some punts this year perhaps. And also you mentioned that you might even throw Ronnie Hillman back there on some kickoff returns, which is something that Coach Hoke did not want to do last year. But you sound like you want to get those guys their hands on the football a little bit more if you can.
Well, I think that if you have a certain player that's the best at something, you're hurting the team if you don't let them do it. Now, I'm not sure Ronnie's the best kick returner yet by watching him practice. Now, everybody thinks he would naturally be.
Yeah.
But just because you're a great running back does not mean you're a good kickoff return guy. The most important thing about punt returns is that you catch the ball. Now, Larry Parker does a nice job of catching the ball, and he does a nice job returning. Leon McFadden does a nice job catching the ball, and he does a good job returning. So those two are going to return punts. Ronnie's not going to return kickoffs this week, but he's back there every day trying to get me to do it, and as soon as he proves he's the best one, he'll be back there. I think you always try to put the best guys in those positions.
I think we all learned last year that, healthy competition throughout the course of the season, no matter what the position is, nobody's really guaranteed anything on your football team from week to week, right? That's the way I know you ran your defense the last couple of years, and I imagine it's how you're going to run your entire team now.
Well, I think every position is week to week except for maybe our punter and our quarterback.
Both number 14s.
Those guys are going to be – they're not going to get beat out no matter what happens.
No matter what happens. All right, you heard that here. We'll see if that holds up. Chris Ello along with the head coach of the Aztecs, Rocky Long. One final segment still to come, the Aztec Coaches Show from Hooley's Irish Pub and Grill. We appreciate you joining us for the 2011 opener. Give yourselves a round of applause for a good round of questions there. We'll come back with one final segment with the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Rocky Long, coming right up on AM 600 Kobe. California Bank and Trust Student Athlete of the Week. Also, keep your hands put together for the Aztec Athletic Director, Mr. Jim Sturk, who is here tonight for the kickoff show of our 2011 Aztec Coaches Show. Do you want to just let us in real quick before we go, Coach, on how just kind of a reprise of how it all went down when Coach Brady Hoke decided to leave and go to Michigan, and lo and behold, after 11 years in New Mexico, and then thinking maybe you didn't want to be a head coach anymore, but Jim Sturk and you got together and you decided, hey, this is the perfect fit for me, and boom, you were the Aztec football coach. It happened very quickly over the off season there. Or do you not want to talk about it?
It doesn't really matter anymore. But I'd like to mention the volleyball team and our women's soccer team.
Okay, ranked in the top 25 also.
The volleyball team has gotten off to a great start, and then our women's soccer team is unbelievable. They've beat 2 ranked teams already, and I think they've moved up in the rankings into the top 20. And so there's a couple teams that have started well, and our hope and our belief is that we're going to start well, too, on Saturday night. So hopefully we can join them and be winners, all of us.
How does this whole thing feel for you heading into this opportunity at San Diego State? I mean, after coming off of a long, successful career at New Mexico and then going back to defensive coordinator, where are you at right now heading into this game Saturday night?
Well, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, and I don't know why, because
because you're not screaming at them in practice at all. No, I haven't heard anything.
It's game week, and I'm supposed to be more under control during game week, but I'd forgotten how nervous you get as a head coach. I mean, you get nervous as a coach anyway, but you get a lot more nervous as the head coach because you feel responsibility for 105 guys. When you're a coordinator, you feel responsibility for 40-some guys. And then if you're a position coach, you feel responsibility for 10 guys. So right now I feel the responsibility for 105 guys to do things right and play well on Saturday night. So that kind of gets